What if I told you that Florida was a silent sanctuary city? That's right. I'm talking about the land of Dictator DeSantis. Emphasis on the dick part. He may think he's some tough on immigration MAGA rebel, but he seems to be just part of the problem. He's either allowing this to happen directly or indirectly, but either way, it's hypocritical. It's the opposite of his rhetoric and his supposed policy stances. To understand what I'm getting at, you need to familiarize yourself with President Biden's parole program. Let's take a review of that right now. First, this isn't a parole from prison program. It's in regards to immigration. In October 2022, the Biden administration created a program to help Venezuelans move to the United States. It would allow for 30,000 migrants per month to enter the U.S. They get work permits and authorization to be in the country for 2 years. The goal was, quote, for urgent humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit. Just think about that for a minute. 30,000 people a month coming into this country. That's like letting in an entire Taylor Swift stadium full of people every couple of months, except none of them speak English and are extremely poor. Remember when Trump came down the escalator to announce he was running for president and famously said that when people are crossing our southern border from Mexico, they, quote, aren't sending their best? Well, Biden said, watch me, I'm going to do you one better. Venezuela has been dealing with the effects of socialism for years. Their inflation rate is 360%. For reference, when the U.S. had its 40-year inflation high in 2021, it was 8%. So 360% is impossible to keep up with. Cooking oil and milk is about $4 in Venezuela, which is the same minimum monthly wage for a public sector worker. And think, this is the poverty that we're importing. These people will need assistance, and the U.S. welfare machine is primed and ready to serve them, courtesy of your tax dollars. But importing poverty wasn't enough. Biden was far from done. He looked at this program for Venezuelans and said, hold my beer. He expanded the program in November 2023. It came to include Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. It's referred to by the initials as CVHN. Thankfully, a subpoena from a House committee has forced the details of this program to be exposed. More than 400,000 people have entered the United States on this program since October 2022. Let me repeat that. In just a year and a half, more than 400,000 people have entered the United States on the parole program. That's approximately 1,000 people a day. For even better context, that's like immigrating a city the size of Miami into the United States. Forget about the crisis at our southern border. These people are being welcomed and flown in. Now remember, they get work permits and authorization to be in this country for 2 years. And here's where lies the problem. They have 3 options when their 2 years is up. They can try to get it extended by the Department of Homeland Security. They can hire a lawyer to establish legal residency, or they can just illegally overstay their visa. Which one do you think a poor immigrant is going to choose? Are they going to hire an expensive lawyer? No. Are they going to report themselves to Department of Homeland Security after 2 years and ask for an extension and risk going home? No. We already know that people overstay their visas all the time and stay around, so this program isn't going to be any different. Critics also note that Biden is unlikely to chase down parole program participants who overstay, given his administration's soft on immigration policies. Former Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement Director Tom Homan told the New York Post, quote, ICE is not looking for non-criminal fugitives. They're not. The scary part, more than 1.6 million people have applications pending to be a part of this parole program. If we end up letting all of them in, that would be about the size of Dallas, Texas. Think about that. A Dallas-sized city of untraceable, soon-to-be illegal immigrants. That spells nothing but bad news for the United States. Okay, so this is some crackpot, whacked-out idea to ramp up immigration. What does this have to do with Governor Ron DeSantis, then? Well, I'm glad you asked. Participants make their own travel arrangements. What's the most popular destination? New York? California? Those liberal havens? No, the very red state of Florida was the most popular destination. In fact, more than half of the participants went to Florida. They're flooding cities like Miami, Tampa, and Fort Lauderdale. That means 200,000 people in this program are settling in the Sunshine State. Where's DeSantis? What's he doing about this? Why is Florida such a safe space for all these poor immigrants coming into the country? Do they know something that we don't? Does Florida love to give out a lot of money? Can they get on the government dole even easier there? When their 2-year authorization expires, Florida is going to be a hotbed of illegal immigrants. But Governor Ron DeSantis was too busy running for president to actually run the state he was elected to govern. Shouldn't Florida be hostile to illegal immigrants? So they don't want to settle there? Or does DeSantis really like this flood of immigrants? Maybe he likes a group of poor people flooding the state. They sure as heck won't be in his neighborhood, and it's just more people to rule, more people to get on the government roll of programs. And yeah, they aren't illegal yet. I know that because this is a program established by the government. But they will be illegal when their visa expires and they don't renew or they don't go home. This parole program is nothing more than an expedited program for would-be illegal immigrants. It just makes that whole process way easier. Think about this in comparison to Disney World. Most people flood the gates when they're about to open in the morning. Think of that as the southern border crisis right now. It's hundreds of people wide and hundreds of people deep. Some people will straight up jump the turnstile, just like the ones we see out in the desert over there in Mexico crossing into Texas. Now, all those people at the gate are saying, hey, I don't need a ticket. I deserve to be here for free. Think of those people as asylum seekers. That's the border crisis we have going on. Now, we know they don't all deserve a free ticket, just like we know they aren't all asylum seekers at the border. Nevertheless, we process and let them in. But wait, don't forget about the parole program. That's a side gate where they let in a group of certain types of people from certain countries, avoiding that main gate or the jumping the turnstile process. These people not only get welcomed in without waiting in line, but Disney hands them a fast pass. They can go on any ride ahead of everyone else. Likewise, parole participants are welcomed into the United States. They're given a 2-year authorization to be here, and they get a work permit. See how unfair all this is? Everyone is cheating their way into Disney, either by demanding a free ticket, jumping the turnstile, or taking a side door and getting a fast pass. Meanwhile, you're in the corner saying, wait, I bought my ticket, waited in line, and had to pay for parking. Why is everyone else getting to cheat their way in? You look over and there's someone who says, hey, I flew from Mexico. I got a passport, went through customs, and waited for years to make the trip. Those two individuals, that's your native U.S. citizen and your legal immigrants who go through mounds of paperwork and years of waiting to get into the country. Those are the two people that are getting screwed in all of this. Just think, if this actually happened at Disney World, no one would go. The park would collapse. When people don't earn something, they trash it. How can the park even maintain itself if they're giving out free tickets? Where's the capital coming from? Ask yourself, what's going to happen to the U.S. if we keep this up? It will become a complete and total trash pit. Jobs and housing will be harder to come by. It will be filled with crime because, let's face it, cheating your way into the system doesn't instill faith into anyone that you're going to be a law-abiding citizen. Besides, these people are poor. They don't have money or skills, so supporting themselves will either be doing criminal activities, hiding money from the government, stealing Social Security numbers, or they're going to try to figure out a way to get on the government dole and suck up programs like WIC and SNAP and get their kids in the public school system. But back to where immigrants are settling. Immigrants are choosing where to go, and 4 of the 6 most popular states are red states. Texas, Nevada, Georgia, and Florida. The other 2 are California and New York, but my God, shouldn't they all be blue states since liberals love illegal immigrants? You'd think soon-to-be illegal immigrants would not want to go to these red states, but they must know that the posturing of red states as tough on immigration means absolutely nothing. Let's face it, our political parties all serve the same interests and masters. We may have Republicans and Democrats, but there's very little difference when it comes down to policy that they enact. The fact that half of these parolees choose Florida is just far too funny. You'd think it would be a top priority for DeSantis. Instead of dealing with this impending crisis, he was busy banning TikTok for minors. That's right, a dance app needed banned, but an influx of untraceable immigrants who will soon become illegal immigrants in 2 years? Nah, leave that problem for the next governor. I guess DeSantis was just too busy shopping for high-heeled boots and learning how to smile like a human to waste his energy on this. Mark your calendar for July 25th through 27th. Ladies Love Politics will be attending the Bitcoin 2024 conference. Join me online as I cover the event, or grab a ticket and see for yourself the wonderful world of Bitcoin. Ladies Love Politics is a proud media partner of Bitcoin 2024. In the meantime, be sure to follow the Ladies Love Politics channel on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram.